Hey, welcome! Today we're going to talk about something that could genuinely change how you deal with, well, your own head. We're diving into a really smart framework for handling all those tough thoughts and emotions, and it's all based on an approach called acceptance and commitment therapy, or ACT for short. So let me ask you something. Does this sound familiar? You know that constant battle you're fighting inside your own head, trying to push away thoughts you don't want, wrestling with anxiety, or just wishing some feelings would poof, disappear? Man, it is exhausting, right? But here's the big question. What if fighting isn't the only way? What if there's a totally different strategy? Okay, to get our heads around this new strategy, let's use this brilliant metaphor. Just imagine for a second that you have two knobs inside your mind. One is labeled control, and the other is allowing. And trust me, how you use these two knobs changes everything about your relationship with your mind. And it's the key to focusing on what matters without burning out. So, let's look at these two knobs. This is so interesting because I think most of us, by default, we just crank that control knob to the max. We're constantly telling ourselves, I can't feel anxious, or I have to stop thinking about this. But as you can see, that usually just leads to a constant, draining fight. The allowing knob, though, that's a whole new game plan. And it's not about giving up, it's a strategic move. It's about saying, okay, this is here, so you can free up your energy to actually move forward. And this is exactly why that control strategy backfires so often. I mean, think about it like this. An unwanted feeling is like a coiled spring. The more you try to push it down to suppress it, the more tension you build up. And the second you get distracted, boom, it springs right back, sometimes even stronger than before. It's not you failing, it's just kind of the physics of how our minds work. So if trying to control everything doesn't work, then what do we do? Well, it all starts with getting super clear about where your energy is actually effective and where you're just, well, spinning your wheels. And check this out. This chart is basically a map of reality. And just look at how small that inner circle is, the your actions and decisions part. That's it. That's the only stuff we can directly and reliably control. What we do, what we say, where we choose to put our focus. But our thoughts, our feelings, what other people do, the final outcome of things, all that stuff is largely outside of our direct control. The whole game is about pouring your energy into the one part of this circle you can actually steer. And this, right here, this is your new superpower. It's a question you can pull out anytime you feel stuck or overwhelmed. Just stop and ask yourself, in this exact moment, what is actually inside my circle of control? This one question is like a mental reset button. It snaps your focus away from the storm of things you can't control and brings it right back to the one small thing you can do, right here, right now. Okay, let's talk about the word acceptance, because let's be honest, it kind of gets a bad rap, right? It sounds passive, like you're just giving up. But in this way of thinking, it's the total opposite. It's an active, even courageous choice to stop wasting your precious energy fighting a battle inside your own head. You're not saying you like the feeling, not at all. You're just saying, okay, this feeling is here right now. I'm not going to add a whole second layer of stress by fighting it. Now, what's my next move? Oh, I absolutely love this metaphor. It's so perfect. Think of your anxiety, or that nagging voice of self-doubt, as a really annoying passenger in your car. Now, you could pull over on the side of the road and spend all day arguing with them, but you wouldn't get anywhere, right? Acceptance is just letting them ramble on in the backseat. You hear them, you acknowledge they're there, but you keep your hands on the wheel, your eyes on the road, and you keep driving towards your destination. All right, so we've got a strategy for our feelings, but what about all those thoughts swirling around in our heads? This brings us to the next crucial skill, and it's a real game changer. It's all about changing your relationship with your own thoughts. And that skill is called defusion. See, normally, we are fused with our thoughts. We look at the world from our thoughts, as if they're the absolute truth. So when a thought like, I'm a failure, pops up, it feels like a fact. Defusion is the skill of learning to look at your thoughts. It's about taking a step back and seeing it for what it is. Just a bunch of words, an image, a little event happening in your mind. You're not the thought, you're the one who notices the thought. And here are 3 super simple, you can do it right now ways to practice this. First, just rephrase it. Instead of I'm a failure, try saying to yourself, I'm having the thought that I'm a failure. See? Instant distance. Second, and this one's kind of fun, say the negative thought out loud but in a silly cartoon voice. It's almost impossible to take it seriously then. And third, just thank your mind. Say, hey, thanks mind, I know you're trying to protect me, but I got this. You're not fighting it, you're just unhooking from it. Here's another really powerful technique you can try. It's called the leaves on a stream exercise, and it only takes like 90 seconds. Just picture a gentle stream flowing by. And as thoughts come into your mind, you just gently place each one on a leaf and watch it float away. You don't judge it, you don't push it, you just let it come and you let it go. It's amazing practice for being less reactive. Okay, so we've learned how to make some space for difficult feelings and how to unhook from tricky thoughts. But why? What's the point of all this? This is where we bring in your compass. This is all about figuring out what you want to move toward in life. And to do that, we have to understand this really crucial difference between goals and values. Think of goals as destinations on a map, like running a marathon. You can get there or you can fail. If you get injured, well, that goal is out the window for now. But values are like the direction on your compass. Say your value is to be healthy and active. Even if you're injured, you can still move in that direction today. You could do your physical therapy or focus on eating well. Values are always available to guide your very next step, no matter what's going on.
And values can be all sorts of things. Whatever is genuinely meaningful to you. It's not about what you should care about, but what you truly, deep down, want to stand for. Think of them as the kind of person you want to be. Are you about kindness, curiosity, courage? This is your personal compass.
This is where the rubber meets the road. We've got our compass, but now we have to actually start walking. And the secret, the absolute key to making this work, is to make the first step ridiculously small. This brings us to a really cool concept from the source material called the NSJ. It stands for the smallest sensible unit. And this is the heart of making a commitment. It's one tiny, concrete action, something you can do in like 5 or 20 minutes that is an expression of one of your values. And here's the most important rule. It has to be so small, so doable, that you could still get it done on your absolute worst day, when you have zero energy and zero motivation. And here's a super practical way to put this into action. Create a simple one-page values card for yourself. It's easy. You just pick a value that's important to you, like closeness and kindness. Then you write down why it matters to you. That's your motivation. And finally, you define your NSJ, your smallest step. In this case, maybe it's ask one person a thoughtful question today. It's not some vague idea, it's a real, doable action. And this all leads to this incredibly powerful commitment sentence you can say to yourself. I will take one small step toward my values today, even if I feel anxious/tired/unmotivated. Honestly, that sentence is pure gold. It completely rewires how you think. It acknowledges that, yeah, the tough feelings are going to be there, but it commits you to acting anyway. You stop waiting to feel good to start living your life. You decide to live your life and just bring the feelings along for the ride.
So when you're in a tough spot, this is your go-to loop. Step 1, just notice the thought or feeling. Step 2, take a breath, make a little space for it instead of fighting it. Step 3, glance at your values card to remember your direction. Step 4, pick one of your smallest sensible steps and just do it. And then step 5, and this is so important, say out loud, I did that despite feeling anxious. You're literally building proof for yourself that you are someone who shows up for what matters, no matter what your mind is chattering about.
And this is the secret reason why this whole thing works. You know, most of us have it completely backwards. We sit around waiting to feel motivated so we can get started. But look at this chart. Motivation doesn't come first. It's often the result of taking action. You take that one tiny step, and that's what creates the spark of momentum and the motivation to take the next one. Action is the cause, not the effect.
And I think this is just a really beautiful and frankly kind way of think about all this. This isn't about some relentless mission to find a better you or fix yourself because you're broken. Not at all. It's about expressing the you that's already here. It's about finding small, simple ways to be more of who you already are, one step at a time.
So I'll leave you with this final question, because this isn't just something to think about, it's something to do. Based on everything we've just talked about, what is your one small step for today? What's one ridiculously small thing you can do that moves you just one tiny inch in a direction that truly matters to you?
Don't let this insight fade away. To help you remember, I've designed a specific visual anchor for this episode. Grab the infographic from the link below and put it where you can see it. And if you want the full operating system for your mind, get the Happyhacking book on Amazon. Join the movement by subscribing, and I'll see you next week with another hack. Now, click here to keep upgrading your brain.